Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back. Today we are doing our November wrap-up for all the books from November, which actually turned out to be 11. So I think that's a little funny. 11th month, I got 11 books finished. Okay, so it wasn't finished, but we'll talk about that one. Actually, it's the first book. So the first thing for November is actually a DNF, and it wasn't on my November TBR because this is an ARC that I got from NetGalley. So a huge thank you to them for letting me read it. But I just couldn't with this book. Oh my gosh, it was apparently it has been published kind of before, self-published, and it's just going to be traditionally published soon. And this would be Diary of a Lonely Demon by John David. I get that ARCs are sometimes, you know, they're gonna have little errors or whatever. But considering this has technically been published before and it's going through the editorial process, before this ARC, somebody should have taken a hard look at some of the things that he wrote and been like, fix it. Because it wasn't like grammatical errors or little things like that. It was continuity errors between one paragraph and the next. Or just complete, utter nonsense. I can't with this book. The description of this book wasn't bad. Our main character, Morgilla, I can't even pronounce her name, and it's like a variation on my own name, and I can't. It was confusing. I didn't like hardly anybody. Okay, her character, she was kind of fine, sure. She was fine. The main guy though, it was boo-hoo, everything's wrong, everybody's against me, everybody hates me. None of his stuff made sense. Otherwise, he might be an okay character, but so yeah, I couldn't make it past like even the 30% mark with this book before I gave up. I was like, I have better stuff to read. This is just no. Book number 2 was not on my TBR yet, but I was like, I need to do it. I need to before The Lost Metal comes out. So I read Rhythm of War, and yeah, it was a 4.75 stars. I loved it. I really liked some of the more story that we went into. I didn't like, though, one of the betrayal, treachery things that had to happen, even though the characters still worked together after said thing. It's like she didn't expect anything less of a human, and she still fought for her, which that was touching. And those two characters were like so similarly minded and everything. I just wish they could have like worked together and solved everything and not had to have that betrayal moment. I do. I have to be very vague. This is like the 4th book in the series. This is of course the Stormlight Archive series, the 4th book in that, where we are on Roshar during the war, whatever it is now, between the humans and the singers, as all is described in book 1. What is book 1 called? The Way of Kings. Every book in this series, though, if you haven't read it, every book is actually named after another book or that's like within the series. Like The Way of Kings is a book that Dalinar reads, and Words of Radiance is another book that's a book of history and everything. Oathbringer, and now Rhythm of War, which is actually a new book that was just written within this book. So it was very interesting how it played out, how we're, working our way forwards through the Cosmere. My shoulder popped, ignore that. Book 3 is actually the first one I have a physical book to hold up for. I did have the physical book for Rhythm of War. Wow, already lost the name, but it went back to the library. So book 3 though was A Prophecy in Ash by Julie Xantopoulos. I did do a review for this book. It is the sequel in the I think she's calling it the In Ash trilogy. The first one was of course A Curse in Ash. I did that in the review video too. I don't know what's wrong with me. This one follows Ashlyn and Reardon, and now also we are seeing through Briark's perspective as the events that happened in the first book. We followed their lives and what had happened because of those events. The only thing that I was not super happy about is that we did not do much detectiving and figuring out and putting the, solving why the events in the first one took place. What was the end goal of that? No, we went off on something else, understandably. But check out the review video for that for more in depth. This one was a 3.75 stars though. Yes. So it's turning out to be a good little series. It's pretty fast to read through. Just a little bit of spicy, not too much. And she has some interesting folk worldy histories going on with them. The next one, book 4, is another one that I have a physical copy of. And that is This Vicious Grace, the beautiful fairy one that it's too light that you probably can't see the lemons on it, but it's so pretty. And yeah, it's the only yellow one I have, so it's cool. This one was another 3.75 stars. I liked it a lot as it was, it's one of the few YA books that I've read recently that actually only show from one perspective. So that was cool. You only see through our main character's perspective, whose name was Alyssa, right? And she is this chosen one type character. She is chosen by their goddess to save the people with this gift. But her chosen person, like the person she's supposed to fight the demon hordes with, they use their gifts together and everything. Her gift is just a tad bit too strong, and she's already killed off 3 husbands. And she's kind of desperate because she knows that the war thing that she's gonna have to face is coming soon, and she has no partner to help her with it. And the city is kind of turning against her because of killing off 3 husbands. And a priest is going about the city saying she's not the chosen one. She was sent by the demon people to confuse us, and now we're all gonna die because our real chosen one isn't there. I just really love the way this turned out, and it didn't have to have, it did have a little romance, sure, but it really was more the friendship vibes that brought to the table. This will have a second one though, where we will explore more, because you had a lot of questions. I had a lot of questions, at least, about what in the world is actually happening. Possibly my most excited release for November was The Lost Metal, which did come up with a 4.75 stars. This also got its own review video that you guys can go check out. I adored it as an ending for the Wax and Wane part. There are so many things that were still left open though. I mean, yes, we have entered the Cosmere fully in this world of Scadrial. They know about other places now. We have connections, we have things. Did it have sad moments? Of course, as any, ending to a series has to have, unfortunately. The only thing is, Era 3, it better not be this huge time jump. People might say 300 years isn't that big. If you'd read the book, and at the end of it, and all your unanswered questions, we need it not to be another 300 years. Maybe I can survive with it just being like 50, and still that for some reason they did not answer these questions within that amount of time. I don't know. But go check out the video, and then you can find out about how the end of Era 2 and the end of Wax and Wane's story went. And all I can say is, yay, Steris. She really got to shine in this one. It was awesome. I did not like the questions that I still had at the end, or the introduced questions. Book 6 was Game On, which is number 28 in the Janet Ivanovich Stephanie Plum series, our favorite bumbling bounty hunter, which this one I don't think she coasted by on luck quite as much. Of course, we did see the return of Diesel in this one. That was super fun. But I feel like she actually, she did try her investigativeness, and she worked on herself in this one. Like by the end, she did something for herself. I would really love this series to move forward with her relationship a little bit. I like it because it's fun and it's light and it's just easy reading. And that's why I keep reading this, even though they are kind of similar from book to book. I just like it. It's fun. That's all it has to be. It's just a good light read, maybe in between the heavy things. And that's perfectly fine. Oh, it was a 3.75 stars. Yes. Lucky Book 7, right? Maybe, Okay, this one is one that was recommended to me, and it was The Dawn of Wonder, is a series, I think, and it's The Wakening by Jonathan Renshaw. This one was a 3.5, so not bad. I could have maybe enjoyed it more if it was a few hundred pages shorter, because he didn't over-detail everything. This is a very detail-heavy book. Like, not even like we're world-building detail. No talking about how somebody smells or how somebody looks, or it's just so much. It was like 700 something pages, and it was so much. I don't know, too. I think for me, it's harder sometimes with ebooks, and there were so many ebooks this month. The longer ones, when they're ebooks, it's just harder. I don't know why. My brain has more problems with it. I don't know. It's slower in general that way, but the details of this book and this writer, it was so much. The highlights, though, the best points, his character work. His character work was really good. I loved how he created characters. I loved how they were all a little bit different in this friend group that we have. Our main character is Aiden, and he is 12 years old in this fantasy world here. The description of the book, was a bit different. It talks about how there's something happening in this world, and we're in this small little village when a mysterious writer comes in with ill omens, and our main character sees a sense of adventure and just going to a city and just finding this new purpose for his life. And it seems like happy, we're gonna, do this. It's just an adventure story. Dark. And dark starts really soon, actually, too. So Aiden, yes, is our 12-year-old main character, and we take him from like 12 to 16, I think. And he starts out in his little village with his best friend, where he is this adventurous, imaginative kid. Because of some very bad event, though, from his village, he does move to this larger city in the southern part of the country, and ends up entering into a martial training academy, which is very hard, very grueling. Like, these are the best of the best. They go on ambassadorial missions. These are the people you don't want to mess with. They are above the regular army. You don't want to mess with them. But it's a very grueling admissions and training, and and a lot happens. So a good portion of the book is him there at that school, and I actually kind of enjoyed that part. That was interesting to see how that happened. And that's where I was talking about the friend group, the people he meets there, how each of the kids is a little bit different, and they help each other, and they can build off of each other because they have different skill sets and slightly different mindsets, but they work together very well. So yes, I greatly enjoyed that part. But the over detailing was hell, and that made it so slow of pace too. Okay, talked about this book for a minute now. Let's move on. The next book, I guess, did I finish this one after? I did. I think I finished it. Yeah, I was already reading Dawn of Wonder, and I took a little break to read Game On, and then after I finished Dawn of Wonder, and I was still feeling, the Sanderson-Cosmere connection vibes, I listened to The Emperor's Soul. This was a short novel set in the Cosmere. Apparently it takes place on the same planet as Elantris, though if I hadn't already heard that, I would not have known it. I mean, true, there's the one little Easter egg thing, but nope. I would have brushed right past that without really catching it, possibly. Because it's only popped in like once. But in this one, we follow Shay, who is a forger. Yes, no, yes. And she can do things with stamps and magic of that sort to make items change. It changes their history of items to where they become something different. And she can also do that to herself, which makes her really bad in the eyes of the government there where she lives. That is very, very bad, very looked down on. They are yucky magic people. Yeah, So this one was a 4-star read. I super enjoyed it. I loved getting to see her character and how her, like, what kind of person she was. It was I loved it. It was a short story though, so it doesn't take place much, but you see what she stands for. Like, even with everyone against her and the need that she might die here unless she, you know, does this for the emperor, and they might still kill her. And yet still the biggest thing to her is completing the job and making sure it was done right and seeing that it worked, because she pulled off something that she was not sure could happen. Hopefully the trash truck is far enough away where it's not super loud picking up anymore. Maybe, I don't know. The next one though was Tread of Angels by Rebecca Roanhorse. This one also got a review video and 3.5 stars. I think it just like circled around to the street behind me now. The description of this one was really cool. It talks, angels, fallen angels, their descendants here on Earth, a different, timeline and everything, but it sounded really cool. And sisters, and looking out for each other, one trying to save the other one when she's been accused of something. So cool. But it was very short. And in the amount of time we had with this character, our main character Celeste, she just did things. She did so many things, and it's to save her sister. And once you find out things, you're like, wow, okay. This show just went crashed and burned. Yeah, so I did not like how this one turned out at all. I felt let down by not getting as much of the world we sounded like we were going to get. It was just her and her investigating, kind of finding out stuff to try to save her sister. You can go check out the video though for all the thoughts. The next book that I got to finish in November was another arc from NetGalley. It was The City of Last Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This one just came out on December 8th. And I did do another video review for that one. And it was kind of complicated. This one was a complicated book. It was very politically motivated. It looks into the minds of people and of different types of people and how they have to interact together and motivations. The city of Illimar, where it takes place, has been occupied for about 3 years, and none of the people there are happy with it. They don't like their oppressors. They don't like the rules that are being placed on them, and different levels of people have different ideas of what should be done, and the uprising that is seemingly about to happen and how that goes about. So yeah, that would be lots of different layers there of people within different parts of the uprising, within different parts of society, and all the parts that they play. It was very, very hard though to feel connected, at least for me, to any one character from the way that we saw all of them and would see through their eyes and have different characters that were not connected in with these other originally main ones. I loved the mosaic chapters, as they called them, where you got this bird's eye view. Those were my favorite by far. So yeah, this one ended up being 3.5 stars as well. I think there's a gnat. I don't know. But you can go check out that video review for like a more in-depth description, because I'm thinking that this video is going on too long as it is. And all the things that happened with this book. The very last thing that I read in November was to get me into the Christmas spirit, and that would be The Naughty or Nice Claus by Kate Callahan. Okay, this one is slightly adorable. I will say that. It ended up being 3.75 stars. So here we are following our main character, Lila Smurfett. Their last names here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the last names. She inherited her family's toy company. Unfortunately though, when her father decided to retire, he sold his shares to Mason Claus, who is a very no-nonsense businessman, and he has been the co-CEO, even though he owns the majority shares of the company right now. But they're co-CEOs in charge of the toy company and trying to make it profitable again. But Lila hates him. Lila hates him for the decisions he's made with the company, the fact that, he has her job pretty much. And so yes, they really, really don't get along. But after the Christmas party disaster for the company, and her finding Mason very, very drunk after receiving a letter from his estranged family, he asks Lila to go home with him and just be his moral support there. And she finds out things. One, it becomes a fake dating trope because once she gets there, she finds out that they have to say they're engaged. Not just dating, but they're engaged. And oh my goodness, the things that happen there. And once there though, and the things she finds out about him and his family, and getting to see the real him, and of course it's just finding out, all the things he was doing and harsh about the company, and finding out actually other things where she thought he was being harsh, that he actually did this for all those workers. Yeah, you really, really like Mason. Everything is told though from Lila's point of view, which I like, because then it leaves the feelings between them, it's less because when you see from both perspectives, the feelings are there, how they feel about each other, and it's oh, well, the other one just doesn't know because he hasn't shown it. But since we're not in Mason's head, you're just as uncertain kind of as Lila. Though really from an outside perspective, you can be oh my gosh, he totally has feelings for her. Probably he's had feelings for her for a really long time, and she just can't see it because she was so angry with him. Which when you find out something that at the end that apparently Lila knew the whole time, it makes no sense why she was so hateful and angry about him being there. None at all. But they're really adorable because it's got the fake dating, and the enemies to lovers thing. Yes, those are super adorable. Love the Christmas feels. Love them being in Yule and the things there. It's just the Christmassy tropes that are a little bit different. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. The ending though, I didn't like it. I did not like the ending at all. Because, okay, it's not because, they're going to be together, whatever. No, it's how it's just, you don't just be oh, we'll find a way, and then the end. No? That's a very unfulfilling ending. No? But that's how it ended. Yep, so there's that. Though that going in, everybody else will probably be perfectly fine with it. Oh, it's a cutesy ending, it's whatever. No? Super unrealistic. In this book full of magic, super unrealistic ending. Okay, I'm going to stop though. I'm going to stop. That was all of my 10 fully done books and the one DNF. For people who do reading trackers, on Instagram or wherever, do you put DNFs on there? I didn't actually put this on there since I didn't finish it, and I only put them on there when I finished. I wasn't sure if I should. What's the thing there? I don't know. Let me know what you guys do. Were you able to finish all of your Novembers, or did you have some DNFs, some awesome ones, some bad ones? I would love to know in the comments down below. If you're new here, hi, I'm Morgan, and thank you so much for joining me. I hope though that you will stick around and consider subscribing and joining us for future videos. I do book reviews, bookish unboxings, sometimes we do vlogs, general book videos too. I will have the anticipated 2023 releases coming out soon, so I hope you will subscribe and come back for that one. Also, I should say a big thank you to NetGalley for letting me get these books early to review for you guys. I'm super grateful for it. Thank you everybody so much. I hope you're finding something awesome to read this weekend. Staying warm if it's cold where you are. Staying cool if it's warm. For some reason it's warm here again in December. I don't know. I have to go find more Christmas decorations though, because I have not located the box that I have some things to put on the shelf for. Yeah, so I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you're having a lovely day and finding something awesome to read. Bye!